Hey guys, Jerry from Showtime Audio. So we have Rohan's beautiful, brand new 2025 BMW X5. This is an X5M. I mean, look at see the M right there in the dash? All this accent lighting is adjustable, so you can change colors. Now this is all factory, so it's got the factory carbon, factory accent lighting. If you see the tweeter, it's got this little swirl going on. It's pretty amazing. The speakers light up. All the door accents, even right here in the side of the console. I mean, just an amazing, amazing vehicle. The red and blue stitching, if you can see the steering wheel here, it's got all the stitching around it. It's got the contrast stitch. I mean, just gorgeous, gorgeous interior. Now, the client, we built cars for him before. We built one quite a few years ago. He wants extra security as far as video. He wants extra security as far as deterrence. And then also extra views. Even though the car comes equipped with views as far as like 360 cameras and all that, the client wants a particular set of cameras that are always on. Now the factory allows you to view 360, but it doesn't allow you to view it technically while moving above like a certain speed limit. The client wants to be able to see his blind spots as well as back, because the rear visibility out of the back of the car is not that great. So the client wanted us to have, in essence, we made almost like a heads-up display with videos. We took 3 monitors and 3 cameras and made one giant display, but it has a backup camera and a left and a right camera. So if you look right here, so this is the original display. So obviously you can see we have tons of cameras. I mean, it's insane what the factory can do. We can see a 360 view of the vehicle, but as you can see, it's still a little blurry and kind of off. So even though you can see it, it's kind of a little difficult. Now imagine going at speed, right? So what the client wants is we ended up doing this. So this is the right camera, the left camera, and the backup camera. So he can have those on real time, all the time when he's driving. Instead of having to look over, he can see in his blind spot if there's a car coming up, because the mirror can see, but only so far. So the nice thing is this basically covers his blind spots. So he can see it without having to look all the way over and just look kind of at the center cluster here. We also added the radar detector with a blend mount. So he wanted it so that it's nice and tucked up. So this blend mount bolts to the actual neck of the rearview mirror, so that now he has it on there and it's nice and tucked up in there, right? We also have 2 sets of dash cams. So we have 2 black view dash cams. We have a forward facing and a rearward facing. Now, he also wants to record the interior, but we do a crisscross pattern. So that camera records this way, which records the driver and the window and everything that's going on here. This camera records the passenger and that side of the vehicle. So in essence, you're kind of covered forward, left, right, and then back. You can record the entire vehicle. We also did this Pro Clip phone mount, and he has this special, it's called a Mophie case. So it's in essence a backup battery case, so it allows you to have more time on your phone. So what we did is we made a dock for it. So now he'll be able to dock his phone and it'll charge it while it's in the cradle. Also, for the radar detector, it has this mute button. So we ended up adding the mute button right to here. So you can literally, if the unit goes off, you can just hit the button, mute it. So for security, we added 4 LEDs, 1 on the front, 1 on the back, and 1 on each side. So no matter where you are in the vehicle, you can see it in LED. Now this is during the day. At night, this is super bright. I mean, it's pretty bright now. These are tinted windows, and you can still see through that. So if you look over here, there's another one there. So again, if you walk up on the vehicle from the side, it just tells you that the vehicle's protected. And then on the front, we added 1 in the center. There's a factory one on the rear view mirror, but we wanted 1 dead center so that, again, kind of from like wherever you look, like if you look from the side here, you can see it. And if you look on the side, you can see this one. And then if you walk up on the back, you can see that, this one right here that's in the glass, okay? And then, so the cameras were a little bit difficult, right? So obviously running wires and getting all the electrical to work in this car was Not fun. Anytime we work with a brand new car, it's a 2025 model, there's some things we have to figure out because they've changed some things. So even though, let's say we've done a 24 X5 or 23 X5, 22, sometimes because of the new technology or an update, they change either some wiring or the way that the car is set up. So it just makes it difficult because we kind of have to relearn. You know, it's almost like they added letters to the alphabet. You know how we say we like to learn the language? Well, they changed the language a little bit, and now we have to learn the changes that they made. For the backup camera, we're using this camera. Symmetrically, looks like the original camera. So this is the original. This is our backup camera, which runs that center monitor. For the mirrors, we added same camera, but we have one on this mirror and one on that mirror. Now, the difficulties of this is that running wires in this vehicle is very difficult through the boot. The boot is this rubber thing that's called the boot. The difficult part is it's a Molex. So in other words, you can unplug it and plug it in. They do that so that when they build the car, it's much easier to assemble and service. But we have to get wires through there. Now, typically, almost every position is filled. There may be 1 or 2 spaces. So we have to take advantage of those 1 or 2 spaces in order to feed the wires. Now, it's doable, but it just takes a really long time. It's very, very labor intensive, but it can be done. Again, it's one of those, it's labor intensive, but it can totally be done. For the LEDs, we actually did the same. So the LEDs, same thing. We had to take apart the Molex, and we actually created pins. So there's a pin, there's male and female. So now, if you ever had to, you could literally unplug the door and plug the door right back in, and you wouldn't have to cut any wires. So again, we always try to make it serviceable. Brand new vehicle, we want to keep it as serviceable as possible. Right? Our clients, the vehicle is not their primary vehicle. And so they don't drive it every day, or they drive it, once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever. And so the best thing to do is have it on a trickle charger, because this way you ensure that the vehicle will not die while it's sitting there, because no matter what, there's electronics working, it's still gonna die eventually. It may take 30 days, it may take, depends on the car, but it takes 30 days, 60 days, something like that. But if you're traveling, if you're anything, you just don't want these cars to die. You can buy this, it's a BMW trickle charger. It's made for the BMW. We use these as well. They're not labeled BMW, but they're from the manufacturer that actually makes them for BMW, Ferrari, Rolls, all the big name brands use, it's a European trickle charger. Now, the bad part is it comes with this connector that you're supposed to put on the battery, and you leave a pigtail hanging out. And so what you're supposed to do is you open up the gate, plug it in, close the gate, but now you got this wire jammed between the gate and the door. So what we came up with is this is a magnetic charger, right? So as you can see, shows you that it's connected. That tells you that it's connected to the vehicle. We don't have it plugged in right now, but that tells you that you have a connection. So see, as soon as I unplug it, and I can't, because of the magnets, I cannot put it in backwards. So the only way it goes, now the nice thing about this, let's say you forget to unplug the trickle charger. Don't ask me how I know. And then you drive off. Well, that happens. And then, you'll drive off and you realize later when you come back that you forgot to unplug it. But then when you get home, you just do that, back in business. And when you're not using it, just cover it up, cover that up, nice and neat, right? We also added this carbon fiber diffuser. It's a really nice piece, just makes the back look more aggressive.
Visit our website at showtimeaudiochicago.com.